I'm Jeff Philbin, and this is Dinner DeeAs. And grab your Easter basket as we're hunting some treats today. Ideas for Easter dinners, whether you're hosting or just need a potluck recipe to guarantee you'll be bringing back an empty platter. We've got expert tips on the perfect ham and lamb, even a delicious duck, plus a simple side for any celebration. The Easter Bunny has been busy rounding up recipes from our archive and leaving us a sensational selection of dishes ideal for a gathering of family or friends. First up, an Easter menu wouldn't be complete without a classic glazed ham. And Tampa-based private chef Anthony Santos joined us to share how he does his homemade glaze. I'd love to help you with this process. What do we need to do first?
Okay, so if you don't mind, if you could help me with that.
Sure.
If you could help me with bourbon, we'll start off with some bourbon.
A little bit of Grandpa's old cough syrup for everything. Okay, we got a little bourbon going in there.
All right, if you could please throw some of that brown sugar to your right.
Brown sugar, okay.
All right, now we're gonna throw in some honey.
Honey's going in, okay.
That's with the honeycomb too.
I love it. Okay, what else got to go in?
All right, let's throw some of the fig preserve in there.
Very nice. Okay.
All right, let's throw in some of that Dijon.
All right. There's a lot of flavors going on in this.
A whole lot of flavors going on. Sweet, salty, spicy, savory.
A little bit of it all.
All right, let's throw some apple cider vinegar in there, please. All right, and about half what's in there of that cinnamon.
Okay.
Thank you, Chef. And then just a sprinkle of that clove, please.
Very nice.
That's ground clove. All right, we're gonna stir it very quickly. We don't want the brown sugar to caramelize too much where it gets burned. But this is a very fast process.
Yeah.
Once you see all the ingredients meshed together, then we'll be good to go. You just got to keep stirring for about a minute just to get the mustard to blend in there with the brown sugar, the bourbon.
You know what I love about this is, like, you know, you sometimes get the ham, it comes all ready with its own little pouch, it's got all those flavors.
Yep.
Nah, you threw that one away. You're like, no, we're going to do something better than what you're given.
For sure, because this will teach you how to incorporate flavors together, and you can make it yourself. And we don't know what's in that packet. You know, I don't know what the consumer is putting in there, so this just, you know what yours in.
You can control all those flavors that you want to be able to do, because this is going to be married with this ham. So what do we need to do to get this ham ready? All
right, so normally you would just start scorching it and putting the glaze, but I like to take off just this little layer of skin on here. It's a very small layer.
Okay.
You don't want to peel it too much, but if you can just use your knife, you make sure your knife's very sharp before you start. You can actually just pull it with your hand, and the skin comes off very quickly.
Very nice.
So you want to do this at your pace. And then after this, we're gonna scorch it. We're gonna do a diamond scorch on it, and then we're gonna rub that glaze that we just made right on it. This is a bone-in ham, so this is what I like to use. You don't have to get bone-in.
And why do you like the bone-in ham? What do you feel like it does for you?
The bone just adds so much flavor when it's cooking. The marrow adds a lot of flavor. It drips into the bottom of the pan. You can use that too at the end. So
I love it.
Okay, so now I'm just gonna start scoring it.
Okay, show us the way to do that.
All right, so you want to go in one angle, and do not be afraid to get too deep. I know it's traditionally not supposed to be super deep, but you have skin right here still. You have the meat that's going to cook for 1.5 to 2 hours. You want this beautiful glaze we made to penetrate in, so when we slice it, we could actually taste that flavor.
Nice.
Versus on the tip. So I score it one way, then I turn it to the opposite direction, and then I just start scoring it again.
And this is what helps give those beautiful diamond patterns that you're looking for.
It does. It creates a diamond pattern. It allows the glaze to seep into the ham and to just increase the flavor.
I love it. Now, I got to ask, I mean, you got ham, you got turkey. Which one are you going with on the plate? Like, you know, because are you the traditionalist that's all things turkey, or are you
I'm eating all of it.
You're eating all the above. All right, that's the way to do it, my friend.
Yeah, I'm usually a little bit of everything type of guy.
I love it.
Especially with the meats. So right now I'm glazing it. I'm just putting an even coat around the whole ham. I'm gonna also lift the ham and do underneath as well.
Okay.
And then we're gonna glaze this ham every 30 minutes. You can glaze in more. Every oven is different, so just make sure you're checking on it.
Okay.
This glaze is very nice. Adds
Oh,
a
it
lot
smells
of flavor.
fantastic right now, too.
Adds such good flavor. It's a great start. And once the ham cooks, the juices from the ham mix with this glaze, you could reincorporate back in here and just keep basting it with its own juices. All right, so normally you'd be like, I'm done, I'm finished, but we're actually gonna lift it and we're gonna do this
you're going
beautiful
all
side.
in here.
Oh yeah, I'm going all in. I don't wanna miss any spot for flavor.
No spot left behind.
No spot left behind. All right, and that's it. Easy does it right there. You wanna put it back on its flat.
Okay.
So that way it can cook perfectly.
Okay.
We're gonna wrap it really fast. I have a little trick for you guys.
Yeah, what do you got a tip for?
You wanna spray your aluminum foil with some non-stick, whichever non-stick you like. What this is gonna do is this is gonna make sure that that glaze does not stick to the aluminum foil and the ham. So we can keep all the flavor that we worked hard making into this pan.
Love it.
All right, easy as that. We're gonna go put this right in the oven at 325.
I love it. Man, what are you tasting?
Taste the fig, the honey, the bourbon, the apple cider, just a hint. It's really good.
Don't forget that mustard, man. I'm getting a hint of that mustard behind that. Man, that's killer. Grab the recipe for Chef Anthony's honey, brown sugar, and bourbon glazed ham at dinnerdeas.com, where we also have his 5-cheese truffle mac and cheese. We're taking a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're making a chef's family favorite recipe, herb roasted rack of lamb, ahead on Dinner Diaz. Back to Dinner Diaz. We're getting excited for Easter, and note the restraint of only doing our first egg pun this far into the show. Today, we're exploring the Dinner Diaz archive. 2 for 2. Already finding our favorite recipes idea for Easter entertaining. Before the break, we were hamming it up, nothing new here, and now we're showing lamb some love as we revisit a recipe from Debbie Wilson Berment, also known as Chef Sagajo, a dish she describes as worth the splurge for people you love. Herb roasted rack of lamb. Where can you find a really great rack of lamb?
So, you can go to your butchers and get all of this done and take away all of this work. But of course, we are chefs, right? So we get ours and we do it for ourselves. But you can also get this, I'm sure, at your grocery store. And your butcher will be really, really kind to you if you just go and ask him to French cut the rack of lamb and to remove all of these things. So we're just going to skim off. I like a little fat on this because guess what? Fat is flavor. So we're just going to skim this off right here.
How important is it to pat it dry?
Very important, because if you're searing or if it's in the oven, the water just splatters, and it's really not something that you want to do ever, put any wet meat into a pot.
You want to have that dry?
You want to have that dry, on it, where you get all of the flavor.
And that sear.
And that nice
and you're
sear,
taking away
the
any
color.
type of moisture that would be creating that steam versus
That's
what
right.
is really locking in all those flavors. Okay.
That's right. So we're just going to brush our lamb, our beautiful lamb here, and we're just brushing it with, oh yes, don't you just love that?
Now, what do you have right here?
So we have just olive oil.
Any special type of olive oil?
So,
you have here? I'm looking
get
at
yourself a really nice dark olive oil. I'm not going to say any regions, I'm not going to call any names, but just get the purest that you can get, because that really helps to
So
create.
you like to have a good quality olive oil with this
Good quality
dish? Okay.
olive oil, always. And I always do back and front. Don't forget the back, don't forget the ribs, because all of this is important. One of the things that I love working with is lavender.
Okay.
Right? So we said that this lamb was an elegant piece of lamb, and lavender is a herb that I just love.
See, most people would think like lavender, you're going to steep it within tea, it's going to be calming, it's going to just have, aromas, it's the candles around the house. No, this is going into the dish itself, inside your rub here.
This is going inside the rub. So
where do you get it though from?
So you can order this online. It's a French culinary lavender. You can order it online or go to any specialty stores. You will find this online. Things are so easily done online now.
Okay.
You know?
So what should we be looking for? What's the quality here? What should we be?
So we're looking for the French blue lavender. There are some that are brighter. There are some that are blue. Some look a little more purple. I love the blue French culinary lavender because it just gives that fragrance. Is just amazing.
Oh.
There's nothing like it. I love
Beautiful. Oh, now how much are we using for just this dish? Because
So-
I'm gonna put some in the tea later for it as well. But for this dish, for this lamb, what are we doing?
So I would say, a rack of lamb like this size, we could use about a tablespoon.
Okay. So we just have a little bit of garlic, a little bit of rosemary,
Yes.
the lavender, and just a little bit of salt and pepper.
And a little bit of salt and pepper. It's simple enough. You want to taste the flavor of the lamb. We're putting that over. We're turning.
And not forgetting to do both sides. You were
And
saying
not
when you were
forgetting
putting
to do
you
both
have
sides.
to get all of that.
Everywhere, every inch of this lamb has to be covered. I mean, look, it's Flavor Town here, okay? And we take our rack of lamb, and always on the meaty side. And be careful with this. Always be careful. Listen to that. Listen to that.
Yeah, and you get
sear.
that little bit of that rosemary that's just hitting that oil right now, and that garlic. Oh, how long do we need to keep this on this side here?
So we're going to do 2 minutes each side, and it's going to be perfect. And then we're going to put it on a tray and get it into the oven. Drizzle with a little olive oil.
Okay.
And that's it. And we're getting this right on. Perfect. And this goes right in the oven.
Okay. And what type of temperature range are we looking for?
So we're looking anywhere between 125 to 135.
Okay. Oh, so you're getting there.
I'm getting
You're
there.
good.
I'm getting there. Just take a look at this.
Oh yeah. Look how juicy that looks. That's
That
absolutely
looks
beautiful. That is an
absolutely
absolutely beautiful medium rare right there. Oh, come on now. Oh,
You ready? I'm ready for you to tell me what this lamb tastes like.
You have a beautiful crust. You did that sear on both sides that just locked in those flavors. And what it did was it allowed for that rosemary, that garlic, and that lavender
Yes.
to just hit you in such a way that just keeps you going back for another bite. 'Cause
Another bite.
That's exactly what I want to go with. Find that full episode and the recipe for Chef Debbie's rack of lamb at dinnerdeals.com, where you can also see the side she did of Mediterranean potatoes. Time for us to take another break, and when we come back, the Easter Bunny is in luck because it's not Wabbit season. We see how a top chef does pan-seared duck. Ahead on Dinner Deals. Welcome back to Dinner Deals as we continue our selection of our favorite ideas for Easter dinners. Up next, we've had ham and lamb, and though it rhymes spam, it isn't necessarily associated with Easter. So instead, let's cook up some duck with our friend Chef Jonathan Rodriguez.
So right here, what we're gonna do is we have a beautiful piece of, duck breast. What the most important thing is scoring it, right?
And what's the purpose of scoring?
So scoring it is just going to actualize the fat and be able to render, and it just gives it a better flavor profile for that crisp.
Sure.
But you don't want to go too deep. So as you see right here, I don't go too deep into the meat because I don't want to
Just
damage
going straight
the
to
meat.
that flesh then.
Just straight to the flesh, right?
And that way then it also stays flat too. So that way as that fat starts to render out, you have an area there, so that way then it stays nice and even when it has and hits that pan. So scoring is a very important process.
Scoring is a very important process, and we can be a little more fancier, and if you want to be fancy at your home, So we're going to season it, of course. We're going to hit it with a little bit of pepper.
Okay.
And
just simple then. Just sounds again
simple. Nothing
salt, pepper
too-
here. Okay.
So we're going to start in our coal pan. Okay.
Any oil?
No. We're not going to hit any oil because this duck is going to give us that oil.
It's going to give us all that beautiful fat that's just going to render out.
And what we're going to do is that we're going to get the temperature around mid.
Okay, so we're going medium?
We're going to go medium.
Medium heat, okay.
Start it up, okay? And then we're going to just place this duck
Skin side down.
Skin side down.
Okay.
Okay.
So what we're looking for here is just a beautiful sear. How long are we looking for this to be to that point where we know that it's, you know,
So
taken
again,
on
you're
and
starting
rendering
from
that fat?
you're starting from a cold pan and you're working your way up to get that heat, right? So it does take about 3 to 4 minutes to start pushing. Some people start on a higher heat, like from scratch, and for us, you know, we don't want to burn it. The goal is not to burn the item. We will bring it up.
Because what are some of the mistakes people make with duck then?
They overcook it, you know,
Yeah.
and it has to be a specific temperature. You're looking for that medium rare to medium, and
And temperature-wise, if someone at home was using a thermometer, what would that be on the duck?
about 135.
135 is that
You wanna
glow that
live
you
in
want,
world.
okay.
You're starting to see a little bit of smoking. We don't want it to smoke too much, right? So now we're gonna try to pay attention. And you see that GBD right there?
That right there.
That's what we're looking for.
Look.
And we're gonna just take this.
Absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
And
that's
the
going to have
GBD
just a
again.
beautiful, beautiful crust behind it too.
And then we're gonna take that fat and we're gonna separate the fat. Take this pan over here. Place it right here really quickly. And we're just gonna place the fat in there.
Oh, I
That
love
liquid
it.
gold.
Liquid
That
gold. I love it.
Liquid
I love
gold.
it.
But you gotta enjoy.
And I mean,
We're
think
gonna put
about
this
that.
bad boy
That
back.
was just 2, and look how much we really actually have in there, guys. I mean, it's moving around, and you can see all that movement happening because we finish it in the oven. Look how beautiful this looks. What's the temperature that we're looking for
So
you to take that out at?
we are looking to be around the 135.
Okay.
So let's see where we are.
Oh, it smells absolutely fantastic, too.
Let's see. We passed. We stop right there. We don't go any further.
We don't go any farther.
We don't go any
Point
further.
of no return at that point.
Point of no return.
All right.
For sure. If they make this tonight, somebody's getting married.
Someone's getting married.
Someone's getting
This is a married dinner here on that one here. It is GBD. Okay.
Golden brown delicious. I mean, it literally is. And the flavors are just, I mean, just such an even balance, man.
So you happy with the duck?
I love the duck. I think we did a phenomenal job as far as like giving it that beautiful GBD.
Grab the recipe for Chef Jonathan's pan-seared duck, plus the berry compote and carrot puree he made with it at dinnerdeas.com. Scan the QR code down there to find us. When we come back, we haven't totally sidelined side dishes. How to saute spring asparagus. Ahead on Dinner Dias. Welcome back to Dinner Dias. Our Easter hunt for great family recipes is almost over, and we found some fine foods today from our recipe archive. And last but not least, how to celebrate spring with spears of asparagus. And Chef Ashley Suttle shared how she simply sautés them as a sensational side. Okay, so I've got some coconut oil in here for you.
Sure, and then we're going to go ahead and put those down in there.
Perfect. And what are we looking for with the cook? Are we looking from a time standpoint? Are we looking from a color standpoint?
You want to make sure it's still giving that bright green color, but then you just want a tender texture, and then just for it to just kind of brown off there. So you still want that crisp.
You don't want anything mushy.
No mushy.
Yeah, no one
for
likes
sure.
mushy vegetables. All right.
And while we let that cook, gonna come in and add our veggies.
Now, what is going inside it right now?
Okay, so we have some butternut squash, we have onions, we have carrots, and celery.
Okay.
And those carrots and squash is gonna give you that yellow color
Nice.
for the cheese sauce.
And how did you cook them?
I boiled these.
Okay.
You can boil them on the stove. If you don't have the stove space, you can put it in the oven, as long as they just get soft.
Nice. And what else goes in?
And then we are going to add cashews. Again, I did soak these for about an hour.
Okay.
That way that they're soft and they can break down a little better.
Perfect.
And then after the cashews, we are going to add some yeast, nutritional yeast.
Okay.
And that gives it that flavor too, really
Where do you
good.
find nutritional yeast? Is it hard to find?
It's not. You can find it at Publix. You can find it at any like health food store, like a Sprouts
Okay.
or a Whole Foods. But it's really not hard to find. It'll be near like the baking soda, baking powder. It won't be in a seasoning aisle.
What's the taste like then?
It is a very like tangy taste.
Okay.
And so I love it.
Okay, I'm gonna go the other side of the spoon here.
Okay.
Because I want to try your cheese sauce, but I want to get this on first.
Okay.
Yeasty delicious. No, but I can understand why it's being incorporated in there. There actually is a ton of flavor behind it that is going to just bring this all together. So,
For sure.
okay. And then you just added in what?
And then we added in some paprika, some garlic powder
Okay.
and onion powder. And then we're gonna just put a little bit of vegan cheese in there.
Okay.
I love this vegan cheese, and it's just gonna add to that cheese sauce.
Okay, wonderful. And because we were able to bring some of the moisture out from soaking our cashews, having our vegetables, that's going to be that liquid base that we kind of have enough to kind of bring this together.
For sure,
All right.
absolutely.
Let's see it come together.
So now we're gonna place this asparagus here over our vegan cheese sauce.
Absolutely fantastic. It's very pretty. And it's, you know, when I think about this too, it's healthy. There's vegetables. There's flavor. It's everything that you would be anticipating and wanting. You do this on a day in and day out, though.
I do.
How's it taste for you?
Amazing. I love it.
Find Chef Ashley's recipes for her asparagus and the spaghetti squash spaghetti she also made at dinnerdeas.com, along with all the ideas for Easter dinner that we've been sharing today. And as always, if you make any of them, take a photo and share it with us. I'm Jeff Philbin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time with more ideas for dinner, or as we call them, Dinner Dias.